I am Simon Peter Okoth from Adoption Uganda. I work as a project officer in charge of field operations, and we got a grant from AFR 100 to plant 100,000 trees in Eastern Uganda and Central Uganda mostly. And one of the areas where we planted those trees was Ngora District, particularly in Agu Parish, that has 4 villages, and we planted a total of 25,000 trees in those 4 villages. And all this is geared towards fighting climate change.
By name Moding Joseph. I'm the LOC1 chairperson of Oreti Village, Agu Parish, Ngora Sub-County, Ngora District. Thank Adoption Uganda.
As a district, we welcomed the project because we are all fighting climate change. Uganda entered through one of the sub-county, that is Odwarat sub-county, and they covered the villages of part of Omaditok, Agu, and Oret. Then some of the trees were planted at the district gardens.
Put our environment in a good condition.
Weka Kerasi Jana John Francis, Agu Village, Agu Parish, Odwata Sub-County.
I'm called Dewatu John. This place is called Dwarata Sub-County or Girigiro Village.
And we do this through landscape restoration activities like tree growing and agroforestry. We also engage in environmental education.
I'm called Dekesha Skonza, born of Agule Parish, Ngora District.
Okay, my name is Joseph Ojangole, and this is the Angod Village, Angod Parish, Odwarata Sub-County in Ngora District.
Popana pakio nerana pakio ni bore ni bore makolo. Kwenye tebu mtaki koti don. Amangaji na mtemi nasa chapa karuka kone. High tep.
This project is good. The first time when I saw Tree Adoption Uganda, they introduced species of trees to me, and I got well thanked with them. So when I saw the trees, they told me the species of the trees.
Yeah, this project is very good, and we have actually loved it. We've married the project, and right now as we talk, we've planted very many trees, and we hope the trees we've planted will help us combat climate change in especially Teso sub-region, because as we talk, most of the natural trees we had have been cut down by people, and now that has distorted our climate here in Teso, and it has really affected our crop production in Teso sub-region. That is why we are now marrying this project to help us take back to normal climate.
Kopokana pakio nerasu na kamu. Kwenye bo nasache package ido na ngesun kwenye do no pakio nerasu na kamu.
For many years, the afforestation has gone far.
Our organization is a youth-centric organization that is powered by the vision of creating communities where people and nature flourish.
So if we have trees around, at least we will be having an environment that is friendly. But for now, I think we are not all that good to go. We still need more of the trees, not only from Adoption Uganda. We should also have our own effort of ensuring that Ngora has trees for planting.
So when it is dry like this for us, for these oranges, because we are a family, what happens is we have just got to wait for the rains to come. Right now the trees have got to wither, and then we wait for the rains. That's when they pick up. We have no other option. Otherwise, if we had irrigation, that would have been better.
Trees are scarce in the area. That's why sometimes the climates can change.
Elipito okol wala koleje poni nara kap kanara pakyo na kolo nara koleje poni na giya kanpon irrigation anuti acho choka kipibore kitolu nara kap kani chege tatu akena na kolo so ichie paketa na abore anwa titipu nara mga pera kwa makindoro modi tagugo na polo chaps kwa ne kwa so kotonga ni mode polo nte bedo ko ta yatake.
With the help of God, those rains come now, and there is where we could see some plants now start growing.
We mobilized people and talk to them about climate change.
When Simon introduced himself in my office, I welcomed him and he explained thoroughly to me his purpose of coming to the village. He told me that his purpose of coming to my village was to bring seedlings of different species.
They told me there is gravelia, there is terminalia, there is teak, and they told me to choose trees from there that they can plant for me.
Tree Adoption Uganda has brought these seedlings to them so that they take care of these trees. When these trees grow bigger, these trees will be theirs. The planting of these seedlings started in my village called Orit.
So the species that we plant are Terminalia superba, which is locally called the umbrella, Grevillea robusta, which is called Grevillea, Melia volkensi, which is common around here, it's called giant lira. We also plant Melissa excelsa, which is a muvule.
They told me terminalia is a tree for timber, teak, gravelia. So there are trees for shades. There are trees that can attract wind. That is good. So I got welcomed with the trees and I planted the trees. We don't have trees in the area.
They now know, because in the past, when you look at the rain patterns, we used to have rains more earlier than these days. We would get rain around March, we were already planting. But this time it could go even beyond March, May. So people themselves know we already have issues with climate change.
And I chose the gravelia and teak. They told me gravelia and teak, these are forest trees. They told me the advantages of the trees that I was given.
Before the trees, the natural trees were cut down, we did not have this kind of too much drought. That is the reason we are looking at planting these trees by Tree Adoption Uganda as a solution to helping us go back to the normal systems that we had before.
We're going to get many things in these trees. Oxygen.
It will be a great change because when these trees grow up, they will call cool winds. That when they connect to those ones that are in the atmosphere, we shall expect heavy rains to appear.
Mostly to the people who have been chased from the wetland.
Do radio talk shows. When we have some training, like with other extension workers, that is how now we can integrate when production team are moving out, if you get a chance, say, please, let's do this. And beside, we had a project whereby we happened to train farmers on climate change and early warning information system, and we registered more than 200 farmers. So when meteorologists giving us information about the climate rains, all our farmers get in their phones, whether smart or not. So our farmers, at least, they know what is on ground, but they still need more to be handled in terms of sensitization, awareness question, towards tree planting.
In a year, starting from January, like now we are in 1st January. January, in the middle of like 17th there, we expect some drizzles of rain, and they disappear. Now, when they disappear, we don't have trees in the area that can call the climate change.
We welcome you in the next day coming first rains. You bring the trees earlier so that we plant.
And also we want to go into schools, because when you plant trees in school, already we had got some school that we have targeted, so that we will raise children from P3 up to P7. We give them the training. They set up their own tree nursery at school. They do the planting, and we shall encourage them to take some from home, so that by the time they're reaching P7, they already have that knowledge and will be spread up by that time.
People in my area are taking very, very careful care of these trees. But because of the shower rains which fell in the area, it helped the trees to germinate. The only challenge the trees are facing now is the sunshine.
Bottle drip irrigation shows others even that Gonza wants trees to be grown and wants to change the climate, and even the nature, want to put back the nature to its reality.
People used to think rainfall or drought is a result of some individuals in the community holding the rain. People will start to see something changing about the environment and the climate for that matter. And the reason or the need to fight this monster, it is one of the greatest threats to human survival.
Even now, it's very hot.
When you look at my background here, I have my oranges, have mangoes, and I am a farmer personally. I grow crops, and most of them have been affected by drought, because here in Teso we solely depend on rainfall. We don't have irrigation, so when the rains delay or they are cut short, we get shortages in food production. So personally, I have been a victim.
Past 2 years, I've been planting things as in maybe sometimes rice. You plant and you are expecting something like 10 bags and you end up getting only 1 bag. That is a loss.
As a district, this department, the resources that is allocated to natural resources cannot allow us either raise tree seedlings for planting or buy. That can be enough for both the community and maybe the district. We realize that the demand from the community is more than what we cannot afford.
Don't stop, but go ahead by giving them more trees to cover up my village, so that in Red village as well as Agu parish can be put up them up. Many seedlings have been planted.
I received 600 trees from Tree Adoption Uganda.
600 trees.
Yeah, 2,000.
I've seen. I will take.
I got about 500 trees that I planted personally.
Expecting good, as in receiving good rainfall, enough rainfall, whereby this problem will be avoided.
As well as the community welcomed the idea of tree planting.
When partners like tree adoption comes in, at least we feel relief because we are getting seedlings for the community and for our environment at the same time. So we appreciate if partners come like this, at least some of the load is reduced.
Kanti eje kada no ibere ne ya ne ibere kada adise su ne do. So yauna kada la nyamata yaunda tikshoni polo dumunete nyamata kese polo kebe eje dibere pipiste jora jagwela anara mamita kipinwe doltus anakenje nyama.
Swamps we have here. The swamps we have here, sometimes they run dry. Water goes back to the water, to the pool.
As an organization, Tree Adoption Uganda decided to take part in fighting it through tree growing, because planting ends only in putting the trees in the soil, but we go ahead and make sure these trees survive and they grow, and the impact or the intended impact is realized.
They are requesting Tree Adoption Uganda to come again with more and more seedlings.
We are planning to create some other days where we can use for tree planting come next rainy season.
If we plant trees, the climate will come back and to normal realities.
These trees actually are going to attract enough rainfalls to this place, and also we are going to get timber for building houses, not only for this place but for our country or even beyond our country.
Today, especially in Uganda, the people that suffer most or that are most affected by climate change are the smallholder farmers. They have no income. And what does that mean? Maybe children cannot go to school, they cannot get good medical care, and things related to that.
There are more places which have not been planted.
Everywhere where we have been moving, they have been asking us for more trees. So we believe people are finally coming to understand that climate change is a reality.
We encourage indigenous trees that can be brought for this region, because you know the areas that are mostly affected are within the lake shores, whereby they are adjacent to the wetland. So we need to bring tree species that exist within the wetland. That is to me.
The biggest cause of climate change in Uganda today is, of course, greenhouse gases or carbon emissions for that matter. But then when we cut down the trees, these trees act as carbon sinks. Now when we cut them down, the ozone is compromised and the sunshine can be too much. I don't want to talk about only drought. There is also erratic rainfall that can spoil the crops. We have increasing temperature. Some areas we have flooding. So it's a number of things that manifest climate change in Uganda today.
Personally, I check on them. At times I water them. I make sure at least where I have planted, they grow.
Our little actions in our different communities, when we sum them up together, we'll have that much desired change. And I must say, these people seem to have understood what we told them is the purpose of these trees, because most of them took it seriously. After this last season, We planted 45,000 trees in the Teso sub-region, and specifically in Ngora, we planted 39,000.
Do you encourage them also to plant more trees because it is going to benefit them and the whole country?
Food supply is affected. Now when food supply is affected, health is affected because they do not have enough to eat. On the other hand, some of these farmers sell a part of this food or produce. Now when, for example, droughts come, they have nothing to sell, and what does it mean? They have no income.
My message to Tree Adoption Uganda is only a word of thanks, and I would love to say, for us, on behalf of Teso sub-region, we are very, very grateful to what Tree Adoption is doing to our region, and we would ask Tree Adoption Uganda with a kind request, let them bring us more and more trees.
We shall not welcome. You're ready home.
So I encourage Tree Adoption Uganda to bring more seedlings.
We plant indigenous tree species because we believe we are restoring the landscape. That's what it means. You put back or you plant what existed there before. Grandis, which is thick, and we hope these trees will grow and these farmers realize the impact.
Much as we train these farmers or the landowners on how to take care of the trees so that they grow, we also make periodic field visits to check on the performance of these trees, check on the survival rates, because these trees have to grow. We are not just planting, as we always say. These trees have to grow. And how do they grow when you don't take care of it? You have to make field visits and also learn and maybe ascertain some of the reasons why the trees, some of them have died, because it makes no sense to plant, for example, 10,000 trees and you don't have any trees surviving. So it is always very important to make field visits, follow up to check on these trees, and also continuously advise the farmers on the best way to take care of these trees. Today, so many people plant trees and report figures for these trees that they have planted, and in most cases these figures are big and there is difficulty in verifying these figures that they have reported. So we developed a simple mobile phone technology that records tree data so that we wipe out these irregularities in tree data reporting. We developed this technology that records the tree species that has been planted, or the type of tree for that matter, the image of the tree, the date of planting, the person planting, and also the GPS coordinates of these trees, each one of them. And after this, we upload it on cloud and it is accessible to everyone. This mobile phone technology is called the Tree Adoption Uganda app. It's on Play Store. Anybody can download it and register and map their tree. And in this way, we believe we are promoting transparency and accountability in tree growing, but also we are providing employment opportunities for the young people that map these trees, especially when we do it with them as Tree Adoption Uganda.
I encourage most of the people, especially here in Angod and the Ngora sub-county as a whole, to plant more and more trees such that we combat the problem. We go back to normal rates, especially during the right seasons for planting. And already we have married the project and we shall plant as more and more trees as possible. We are very ready to work hand in hand with the Tree Adoption Uganda.
yeah, you're going to get more change than this. These trees are going to grow and look more nice than this.
Want to plant as many as possible, possibly in millions.
Kenya.